The Commission on Elections resumes printing ballots after being delayed repeatedly due to last-minute adjustments brought about by Supreme Court rulings. Comelec began the printing on Monday, January 27 at the National Printing Office in Quezon City. According to Comelec Chair George Garcia, the poll body partially terminated its contract with South Korean election service provider Miru Systems in a bid to fast-track the printing of ballots for the May polls. Garcia explains that this is necessary to make sure that ballot printing would be completed on or before its April 14 deadline. Miru Systems was supposed to print all ballots, but Garcia says the National Printing Office will help in printing over 72 million ballots. The Comelec's printing committee says Miru HP printer is expected to print about 36.2 million ballots, while the National Printing Office's Canon printer should churn out the remaining 35.8 million ballots. The printers of both Miru and the National Printing Office are seen to produce 1.5 million ballots daily. The printing process of Comelec began on January 6 but has since been delayed thrice due to the Supreme Court's temporary restraining orders, which compelled the poll body to add the names of senatorial aspirants it previously declared as nuisance candidates. The Comelec had to discard 6 million ballots worth 132 million pesos to comply with the High Court's rulings. House Committee on Appropriations Acting Chairperson Stella Kimbo maintains that the enrolled budget bill or the General Appropriations Bill submitted for President Bongbong Marcoss' signature was complete amid questions and concerns from former lawmakers about some blanks in the line items. In a statement on Monday, January 27, Quimbo clarifies that two versions are being discussed, the enrolled bill or the final version, and the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the disagreeing provisions of the House of Representatives and the Senate version of the budget. Quimbo insists that the 2025 General Appropriations Act is lawful, valid, and fully enforceable. She says the enrolled General Appropriations Bill was complete and had no blank allocations among its more than 235,000 line items. Quimbo says the BICAM report allowed the Secretariat of both legislative chambers to implement corrections and adjustments. She points out that this does not affect the integrity nor the legality of the budget. According to Quimbo, all the appropriations were already determined when the lawmakers agreed to ratify the BICAM report. Quimbo believes the suggestions of irregularity are only politically motivated, describing the matter as maliciously misconstrued to create controversy. Former President Rodrigo Duterte and his ally, former Appropriations Panel Head and Davao City 3rd District Representative Isidro Ungab, first raised concerns about the supposed blank items in the 2025 budget. Last week, Ungab told the Inquirer that he would challenge the legality of the 2025 General Appropriations Act before the Supreme Court, alleging there were blanks in the BICAM committee report. However, Marcos and other administration officials dismissed these allegations, saying that Duterte is lying. Former lawmakers have urged Quimbo and the BICAM members to explain allegations of having blanks in the budget. Former House Deputy Speaker Erin Tanyada challenged Quimbo to speak about the issue, while former Senator Ping Lacson said Filipino taxpayers deserve an explanation. Senate President Chis Escudero maintained that the BICAM report which he signed had no blank items. Senator Risa Hontiveros says there is a need to pass the Prevention of Adolescent Pregnancy Bill in order to address the rising cases of teenage pregnancy nationwide. In a statement on Monday, January 27, she addressed Department of Health Secretary Ted Herbosa, emphasizing that Senate Bill No. 1979 or the Prevention of Adolescent Pregnancy Bill would strengthen the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Law. Herbosa earlier claimed that the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Law was enough to address teenage pregnancy. But Hontiveros cites the urgency of passing a measure that mandates the government to direct its attention and resources to teenage pregnancy. The senator emphasizes a pressing need for accurate information and service apart from what was under the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Law, as adolescents should not be deprived of their right to be protected. Hontiveros earlier filed a substitute bill after critics feared the proposed measure would supposedly encourage early sexual activity. Some changes made to the bill include the removal of the phrase "guided by international standards" in terms of implementing comprehensive sexuality education. The new version of the bill also includes a provision guaranteeing parental authority as well as academic and religious freedom. The National Coalition for the Family and the Constitution's Project Dalisay previously launched an online petition seeking to junk Senate Bill No. 1979, which they believe contains concepts contradicting traditional Christian and Islamic morality. The group also claimed that the proposed comprehensive sexuality education would encourage masturbation or teach bodily pleasure to children. However, Hontiveros has debunked such claims, describing them as outright lies. Former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo believes the executive clemency granted to former Iloilo City Mayor Jed Patrick Mabilog is a reward for supposedly attacking former President Rodrigo Duterte. In a statement on Monday, January 27, Panelo says Mabilog's presidential pardon is a reward for supposedly besmirching the integrity and reputation of Duterte, who he describes as a critic of the Marcos administration. The palace earlier Monday confirmed Mabilog was granted executive clemency for his administrative case due to his commitment to good governance, as well as the awards and recognition received by Iloilo City under his leadership. Mabilog's executive clemency was in connection to his case in 2017, where the Office of the Ombudsman dismissed him for failing to explain his questionable wealth worth 8.9 million pesos from 2012 to 2013. During his administration, Duterte also accused Mabilog of being involved in the illegal drug trade. Fearing for his life, Mabilog left the country in August 2017 to attend a conference in Japan and then sought asylum in the US. Mabilog returned to the Philippines on September 10, 2024 to clear his name, as he was included in the Duterte administration's drug watch list. However, no charges related to illegal drugs were ever filed against Mabilog. In a House Code Committee hearing in September 2024, Mabilog claimed he received a call from a police colonel in 2017 warning him that his life is in grave danger. Mabilog interpreted this as being killed soon, citing what happened to former Albuera Mayor Rolando Espinosa and Ozamiz Mayor Reynaldo Parohinog, who were shot dead in police operations after being publicly shamed for being on Duterte's so-called narco list. After Parohinog's death, Duterte threatened Mabilog on national TV, telling him he would be next. Mabilog has denied Duterte's allegation and suspected that he was listed on the narco list after not supporting Duterte in the 2016 presidential race. Local oil companies announced fuel price rollbacks that will take effect on Tuesday, January 28. In separate advisories, local oil firms say the price of gasoline would drop by 80 centavos per liter and diesel by 20 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene prices will go down by 50 centavos per liter. Petrogas, Shell Pilipinas, and Sea Oil will implement a downward price adjustment starting 6 a.m. on Tuesday, while Clean Fuel will implement the rollback at 8:01 a.m. This week's rollback marks the first pump price reduction this year following 3 consecutive weeks of price hikes. Last week, industry sources hinted at a pump price decrease due to various global events such as the proposed tariffs of US President Donald Trump that could affect global economic growth and demand for energy. They also mentioned the easing of geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, which could lighten disruptions to the shipping route along the Red Sea.